going to do a evaluation on some Campbell's Yes sipping soup. As I said, the home pantry brings stuff out here occasionally and leaves it, and they left 2 or 3 cans or this plastic containers of soup there. I got 2 of them. One of them was tomato soup, which my wife loves, and she liked it very much. But this one here is harvest carrot and ginger. I don't know about that, but I'm going to check it out today and see what I think about the Campbell's harvest carrot and ginger soup. And you might ask why I'm wearing this cap. I'm also going to tell you a war story when I'm through with the soup. So now the first thing I'm going to do is heat the soup, and it says on here, shake well, pull up and back on cap to remove, set aside, lift tab and slowly peel toward you. Microwave uncovered on high for 1 minute or until hot. Microwaves vary, the time given is approximate. Let stand 1 minute. Carefully remove and stir. Replace cap and sip. Metal edges may be sharp. Okay. So it says water, carrot puree, carrot juice, from concentrate, sweet potatoes, cocoa cream, cornstarch, sugar, ginger, carrot, salt, cabbage, celery. Man, look at all that. Onions, water, curry powder, cumin, turmeric, black pepper, red pepper, cardamom, fenugreek, whatever that is, and parsley. May contain traces of wheat. So I'm going to heat this as the instructions say, and I'll be back. Well, I've heated it according to the instructions, and it feels pretty warm, and now I'm going to taste it. It's hard to describe what it tastes like. It's vegetables. It does have a carrot taste sort of to it. It's not nearly as good as their tomato soup. I noticed the price on it at Walmart was $1.49 a container, and I don't think I'd give $1.50 for this carrot soup. But I don't know, Freedom might like it, but I'm going to pass on it. Now to my story. I had a very successful summer crop spraying when I was about 19 years, no, I was 20 years old. And I followed the wheat harvest from the Mission Valley northward, staying just ahead of the harvest crews by about 2 weeks, and spraying weeds in the wheat to kill the weeds out before they harvested it, because the leaves get beaten up in the grain and mixed in there and deteriorates the value of the wheat. And I went all the way to the Canadian border, and I had a very successful year, and came home and bought me a new car, a 1950 Dodge Roadster, Wayfarer Roadster. Not the convertible, but the single-seat Roadster, and it was, in fact, it was the last Roadster built in the U.S. for many years. and I drove it about a month, and I met this girl is in a senior in high school, and immediately her mother decided that I was a catch, and she'd say things like, "Oh, you were such a pretty couple, such a cute couple." Her dad didn't think much of it though, says he doesn't have a real job, all he does is fly around in airplanes. But anyway, it only takes two to create a marriage, or three if you count the bride's mother. But she was suggesting that we get married, and I said, "You're a senior in high school. If you get married, they'll kick you out of school. That is school rules then. We can't do that." Well, I went through basic training, and my unit was transferred to California. And we were supposed to open Beale Air Force Base and get it ready and all that. And I drove my car out there with me. And it wasn't too long after we got there until suddenly we got orders. We were shipping the whole unit to Korea. Well, I had my car there, and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get it home, and in talking with, her name was Janet, by the way, in visiting with her, or writing letters to her, she suggested that she and her mother would ride the train out to California, where she had an aunt. Her mother would stay there, she could come see me, and then they'd drive my car back. Well, they arrived, and I went down there, picked her up, brought her up to Beale, and managed to get a 2-day weekend pass, so we went up to Lake Tahoe. And while we were there, she suggested many, many times, "Well, let's just go ahead and get married now." The place there that was a casino and whatnot had a white line down the middle. Half was in Nevada and half was in California. And the half you is in Nevada, you could get married immediately. And I told her, no, we aren't going to do that. And she wanted to said that she'd keep it a secret. And at any rate, after the weekend, they left in my car, and about 5 days later we shipped out for Korea. Well, it took us 2 weeks on the ship to get to Korea, and took us about 2 or 3 weeks to get settled there. And my mail finally caught up with me, and you know, they always talk about soldiers getting a Dear John letter. Well, I got a Dear John picture postcard. Show it to you. That's one of the few things that I still have. I'll show you a picture of it here. And that's what I got. And it was one of those freebie cards that you get at a motel. And she said, wanted to tell you that Bunky Dent and I got married. He was another kid that same class as me at high school, and kind of a dumb kid. And I thought, why would she marry him? And she said, oh yes, his tires weren't very good, so we used your car to go on our honeymoon to El Paso, and your car was stolen in front of the motel. And I told your dad, and he's turned into the insurance company. And that was it for that. And about 7 months later, I got a note from my mother. Well, it's 7 months after she had visited me there, got a note from my mother and a clipping from the local paper where she and Bucky had a 7-pound baby boy. So I don't want to be crude about this, but it looked like somebody had it in for me while I was gone. But beside the point, I really miss that car.